could be here at Camelback Twin Peaks, but he's in town getting ready to do a big speech, big dinner deal, and, whining and dining. He's kind of a big deal, and I had an opportunity to hang out with him for a few hours this morning, and we had a good time, right, Rick? It was fun today.
My day and probably my life is complete. I saw the evolution of a fairly mediocre middle-aged athlete into one of the most dynamic golfers of our new generation. We started early. The course was closed to allow us to play. The more Rock continued to show off his buttery swing, we attracted more and more of a gallery. By the end of the 18, people were giving him standing O's as he went on an unprecedented birdie run and puts everybody else to shame. And I understand that at least one of the trio of announcers who's listening is, nearly triple digits age-wise, but a damn good golfer. And I got to tell you that whatever Rock's handicap is, it is sandbag, because he was stupendous. How was that?
Wow, Rick, just like we rehearsed it, huh?
Yeah. Checks in the mail, Rick. Checks in the mail. I was going to say, Rick, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about there for a second?
Brand new clubs, too? Just came out of the box?
The problem is that it is really hard to do that and drive to where I'm going with every one of my fingers and toes crossed. How do you do that?
That's great.
I will tell you this. I don't think I've ever played with a golfer that gives the gimmies as he does. Literally, you're on the fringe. Oh, that's good, Rock. That's fine.
Pretty close.
That's good.
I mean, I shot a 79.
That's awesome.
I shot a 79 with his scorecard.
Yeah, 79.
My scorecard was like I think an 89.
Well, whether it's it was closer to like 84 than 79. But I will say this: that any opportunity you can get, whether it's discussing his ability to deliver fake parking passes or his lack of intelligence, you got to keep Rock happy. It's very important to keep Rock happy.
I was on assignment, right, Rick?
Yeah. No. Hey, and listen, it was seriously, it was a great day. He's always a really good friend, and I didn't expect this because I expected to work all day, and I'm going back later tonight after a speech at First Tee, but work all day in the middle of a great day with Rock. So kudos to the family, and especially kudos to him. And we're instituting a new rule: everything inside 6 feet, it's good.
It's good. Okay. I want to play with you guys.
And here's the thing, he's texting a picture of him and Larry Fitzgerald this morning, right? And I'm sitting in the first tee box waiting. We had 8 o'clock tee time, and I'm like, "Where are you at?" And he's in the clubhouse making friends, and he, and of course he had to, this is what we pay him to come on. Sure. He had to get the golf ball, the Gainey Ranch golf ball. He had to get the marker. He had to get the hat. He had to get the shirt. I mean, he got everything, scorecards. I mean, he literally, and he ordered dessert like you would, Manuch, So my bill my bill was going to be pretty high this year, or high this month, because of Rick Horrow, but worth it.
Well known. Hey, well deserved. And it's like when I do stuff at the end of the day, I need some time to catch up. And it was this morning before we played. You mean like, I drop everything just to text you a damn picture? I mean, you'll get my picture when I get around to it. There you go.
So, Rick, as we talked about, Arizona State, BYU, it's a sellout here, Sun Devil Stadium, and college football is at its peak in this city right now. And I know you come through the city quite a bit, and you're hearing the buzz too. I mean, even after having lunch, people talking about the Sun Devils. And, I can't tell you last time, Rick, we've had a sellout at Sun Devil Stadium. It's been 10, 15 years, I think, at least.
2014, game Notre Dame was in town. That's the last time.
I mean, and winning is contagious.
Winning's contagious. I see the same thing over in my part of the world with the University of Miami. And, you come out of the woodwork, the 12-team playoff, no doubt guarantees excitement. The transfer portal and the NIL together are going to mean that more teams will come out of the woodwork every year and be surprises. So by this time every year, you can have 5 or 6 or 7 new surprises like the Indianas and like the Arizona State, where you say, boy, this is a great year for them, and it's really, really good for college football.
And speaking of college football, what's going on there in Colorado? Deion Sanders, the marketing machine. They're 8-2. They're in the middle. They're right there in the precipice of maybe winning a Big 12 championship. You get the top recruit quarterback in the nation commits. So there you talked about the NIL money. I'm just wondering when the sports professor is going to have a breakdown of NIL marketing money with quarterbacks and all the above. Is that information relevant, or is it out there to be had, or is that still underneath the table for a lot of these teams?
It's relevant. It is out there to be had in some contexts, and other schools guard that zealously. It would be great, as the reporting requirements surface, that we have some kind of a box score that shows what the NIL numbers are. It's not going to be this year, maybe not next year, but I will guarantee you in the not-too-distant future, you're going to have those charts, just like NFL salary cap numbers, where you know where every dollar is going and how it's going. Right now, it's just how does everybody game the system, and I don't mean it negatively, I mean it competitively, and then we're going to see how everybody fares.
And how many more commercials can we see Deion Sanders in because of the success he's having there in Colorado?
No matter what, it's one too many.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, in the Sports Business Journal today, they had what they call the Daily Digit, as you know, and it's 58%.
Yeah.
That's the percentage of college football game consumption on ESPN networks. It was 48% last year. I mean, will we find the day where ESPN, Disney will own college football, college basketball?
So I will say this, and I was talking to one of the bowl directors of the Boca Raton Bowl, who have the same issues as the Fiesta Bowl guys and the championship guys. Just, the zeros are in a little bit of a different place. And ESPN owns the Boca Bowl, as they do with a lot of the bowls. They either put them on or own them or both. And the comment was that this is the largest 2-week, 3-week programming chunk where ESPN dominates the airwaves right before Christmas to, right after New Year's. And that's what they end up wanting to do, bigger than anything else on the dial. And when you think about that, and I'm sure there's going to be this inevitable conversation about are there too many bowls? I'm tired of that because it's, a whole bunch of ignorant people who don't quite understand what the bowls are really about. When you look at the value of each of these bowls, and especially to a conglomerate like ESPN, it's off the charts.
Rick, my follow-up to that is the college football playoff. 12 teams. And already the respective commissioners, Sankey particularly with the SEC, remember they only play 8 games within their conference while all of the other conferences play 9. I think that that powerhouse Alabama destroyed Mercer and jumped 3 spots in the poll this week. How is this finally going to play out? Is the SEC and Big Ten just going to shut out everybody else? And in your estimation, when will that happen?
Next 2 or 3 years, but you first got to figure out what the real implications of this year are.
3.
Every Tuesday when the rankings come out, everybody wants to rail against them. But, Boise State's number 4 because they win, the Power 5 or non-Power 5 and get a seed. Miami is number 8, but really number 3. If they win the ACC championship, they get a bye in the first round. So nobody even understands what these rankings mean. And if you're 13th in the ranking, that doesn't mean anything. You win a championship and all of a sudden you get a bye in the first round, you're the top 3. So first you've got to figure out what this all means. And then inevitably the team that is number 13 is going to lead the charge to a 16-team playoff, just like in basketball. Then you have 32, and the team that's 33 is going to try to expand anyway. That's the American way.
Rick, inside the NBA to ESPN, I saw that's going to still be produced by TNT, and then it'll run on all the platforms for the NBA next year, which is ABC ESPN, NBC Peacock, and Amazon Prime. Is this kind of like paid programming where TNT is buying the time on ESPN and their platforms, and then they have to pay the salaries of Barkley and everybody else, or is it a different type of arrangement, you think?
No, it's a hybrid arrangement. It's a sub-licensing agreement, which you don't really see in the context of major network rights deals. but the NBA had issues relative to the Discovery NBA lawsuit, and they wanted to make everybody happy. And this doesn't make everybody happy, but it makes everybody happier, which is why the settlement took place.
Rick, I had a great time with you today, buddy. We'll do it again, and maybe we'll invite these other two knuckleheads with us. So, but then it'll be like an 8-hour round.
The one knucklehead that doesn't play golf, I get it because he is inherently limited. But the other one, I understand he's a pretty good golfer.
Yes.
I just didn't realize that. That's
one.
We got to see that swing, once. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's a geriatric swing. I can tell you that right now.
I'm going to emulate that when I'm about 30 years from now. That would be great.
Pal.
Rick, we love you, man. Safe travels back home.
Later, thanks.
That's Rick Horrow joining us, a sports professor. You can follow him on Twitter. And, we I had to get him an extra set of clubs, so I used my extra set, right?
Yes,
and,
yes.
He got there late, and he had to buy a hat because it was cold and all that stuff, but I bought it, right? But first tee, right down the middle.
There you go.
And I'm like, all right, because he plays out in Jupiter, Florida with Ricky Fowler and those kind of guys. He's kind of name dropping me and all that stuff. And I'm like, there's a couple. I mean, Charles Barkley was riding around the cart the other day there at Gainey, but there's no superstars like that. But, it was a good time. 3-hour round. You can't beat that.
You must have had a hell of a round, Rocky. He buttered you up pretty good.
Yeah, I played pretty good.
I was
Good
gonna
for
say,
you.
must have
New
paid
clubs. Hey,
Yeah.
coming up, Seinfeld's Newman. His name's Wayne Knight. Says he can't get any work. I'll tell you why. And we'll have our underdog picks. That's next year on Rockin' Minutia with Jimmy B.
Ready for Christmas?
You're clear.
99.